esse fantástico garoto, quando ele está com a minha neta de 2, 3 anos, fica na mesma altura, por isso que é garoto. Dr. Nick tem 29 anos, é um fantástico ser humano. Dr. Nick, com vocês.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Bom dia.
Bom dia.
Bom dia.
Bom dia.
Thank you. Obrigado, Dr. Edson. Thank you, Mr. Bueno. Thank you so much. Well, I know you all have your headsets. You're putting on the headsets right now. My Portuguese is not good at all. It is such an honor to be here this morning. It is my privilege to be able to inspire anyone. And did you like the video? Did you see me swimming and all that sort of thing? Did you like it?
Yes.
I actually just went skydiving. I don't know if anybody knew that. I don't know, Doctor, if you saw that, but it was a crazy experience. I was very, very scared. My palms were sweaty a little bit. But it was a wonderful experience, and I love life, I really do, and what you see is what you get. And I know that Dr. Edson, he always, says Nick's a great example, but I want you to know that I've learned so much from you. Thank you so much, Doctor, and your family, and I consider him a mentor of mine. He and I had a wonderful talk last night, and I love that no matter where you are in your life, there is always room for improvement. There is always room for a better perfection in whatever you're passionate about. And I don't know who you are, I don't know what you're passionate about. Maybe you don't even know exactly what you want to do in your life yet. And that's okay. But we are here today to say that no matter what you want, that desiring it and having the right priorities in your mind, having passion and inspiration for it, is going to be key to dreaming big and never giving up. I don't want you to believe that I'm suffering more than you. Maybe you think I'm very different from you, but I want you to know that I'm not. I go through my ups and downs. You see my foot? Ups and downs, ups and downs. And I love this little thing. And my parents always told me, Nick, no matter what you go through, be thankful for what you have. My little foot here, I've got 2 toes so I can do the peace sign. Peace. How do you say peace in Portuguese? Paz. Paz. And I can actually type 43 words a minute on a normal computer. I was born in a very loving home, and my brother and my sister were born after me with arms and legs. And no one can tell me why I was born this way. You know, when you go through different difficulties in your life, we ask the question, why? Why me? Why this? Why not them? Why? Maybe you have some difficulties in your life, and I want you to know that I actually believe that being in a broken home is worse than having no arms and no legs. You can have arms and legs, but the difference is whether you have a complete heart and a spirit filled with joy and passion. It doesn't actually matter what you have on the outside, it's who you are and what you have on the inside that counts. But my doctors told my parents he's not going to walk, and today I walk. Today I jump, I swim, I type on the computer. I went to university and did a double degree in accounting and financial planning. I'm the founder of a non-profit organization with 9 employees. We've given away $400,000 to the needy, the orphans. We've set sex slaves free around the world. We go and we partner with people to make a difference in the world. Then I've been speaking, and I'll get into that a little bit later, because just as Dr. Edson's mother didn't believe in his dream, my parents didn't believe in my dream to be a speaker either. And when you have a dream, there are some things that you're going to need. And I don't know if you have pens and papers in front of you, but I'm going to give you 7 keys that you can walk away from today's message so that when you get discouraged in your life, you can come back to this and you will be inspired to keep on going. So the first thing I want you to write down is I'd like you to put at the top of your page the word I. How do you say I in Portuguese?
Eu.
You. 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 How do you say goal? Fine. So I want you to put I at the top left of your page and put goal at the top right of your page. Then draw a line between those 2 words and put a question mark in the middle. You got it? So I, line, goal, question mark. Then the next line, I want you to put point number 1. Is everybody with me? Everybody awake? All right. The first thing I want you to put down is I am thankful. Put down I am thankful. Then I want you to look at me so I know you've written it down. You see my body. I have no arms and I have no legs. But I can be thankful. That's hard. When I was going to school, a lot of kids would tease me. A lot of kids would come up to me and say, hey, look at you. You look funny. And no matter who you are today, no matter how you look, there is always something negative that someone can point out at you. You can look yourself in the mirror, and because of the world of negativity around us and competing with everybody, and I wish I was shorter, I wish I was taller, I wish I was more prettier, I wish I was more popular, I wish I was more smarter, I wish I had more money, I wish I had, and we just don't feel complete, we don't feel satisfied. When you look yourself in the mirror, what's the first thing you see? Negative or positive? Negative. When we normally just wake up, oh, look at my pimple, oh, look at my skin, oh, I'm having a bad hair day, right? And I had a pimple on my nose one day, and I went to school, and it was massive on my nose. And Mom and Dad's like, don't touch it. And I'm like, how am I going to touch it, right? Yeah. So I go to school, and people are seeing me. You know when you have something on your face, and people are not looking in your eyes, and they're looking just like this? And I'm like, stop looking at my nose. And I will go to school, and when I have a pimple on my face, I look at the mirror, or I look at the window, and I'm like, ah, it's still there. Go through school, ah, it's still there. And I had this huge complexity about this pimple. We have the wrong perspective. Imagine, I was so concerned about this pimple. What do you think people are going to see first when they see me? The fact that I have a pimple on my nose? Or the fact that I have no arms, no legs? We need to have the right perspective. You need to focus on what you have instead of on what you do not have. When kids came up to me and said, what happened? I would get sick and tired of saying, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. So one day this boy came up and he said, what happened to you? And I said, cigarettes. The kid's like, ugh. I said, you're never gonna smoke, are you? He said, no. So it maybe saved that kid's life. But in my life, I love to have fun. I love freaking people out today. I don't know if you've seen that YouTube video. I actually dressed up as a pilot and greeted the passengers as they got on the plane. We organized that on a Dallas-Fort Worth flight from Texas to Los Angeles, that I would pretend to be the pilot on American Airlines. So while they were coming onto the plane, I would stand there and say, Good morning, welcome aboard. My name is Captain Vujicic. I'm so excited that you're here with us. We're trying some new technology. And some people that were freaking out. Some guys like, what? One guy freaked me out. He said, oh, cool, and walks right on. And I'm like, what? You got the translation? I love having fun. I really do. But I want you to know that I have a choice, and you have a choice every day. For you to get from where you are today to your desired goal, you need to know 3 things. Write down A, B, C. This is under item number 1, A, B, C. A is, who am I? Question mark. Number 2, my purpose. Number 3, my destiny. Who are you? You know, you go to school and you have the cool guys, right? They're walking around all tough. They say swear words. They put people down. You know those guys who are the popular guys at school, and they're holding the hand of their girlfriend, and they're acting like, oh yeah, she's my girl, she's hot, you touch her, I kill you. You know, just, they think they're tough, you know? And you know, I'm going to be tough, and I'm going to be popular, and whatever. I want to ask you, am I cool enough to be your friend? Do you think I'm cool enough?
Yes.
Yeah. But I have no arms and no legs. Doesn't matter, right?
No problem.
You for sure want to be my friend?
Yes.
Then if it actually doesn't matter for how we look, then why do we make such a big deal out of it? I want you to know that the truth of who you are is not determined on what other people think of you. I don't care how you look. I don't care how smart you are. I don't know what you have or what you do not have. But I want you to know that I believe in you. I don't even know your name, and I'm going to tell you maybe some words that maybe you've never heard. I love you. You're thinking, you love me? You don't know a thing about me. I love every human being on this earth. Every single one of you are special. There is not another person like you. You are irreplaceable. And some people, as we grow up, well, I want to look like her, or if only I can be a doctor. Look, if it's your goal to be a doctor, be the best doctor you can be. But I want you to know that sometimes people think, well, if I'm not a doctor, then I'm a nobody. If I don't have $1 million, then that's not enough. If I'm never going to get married, then I'm never going to be happy. You know, these little ideas in our head. For me, it was the fact that I had no arms and no legs. And if you don't know the truth, you will die with a lie. If you don't know who you are, you will believe the world in what they say about you, which may not be true. This, let's say, is my goal. Remember the graphic that I gave you at the top left of your page, top right goal? Well, here I am. There's my goal. How am I going to get there? Is the goal going to just come to me? No. Are you just going to wake up? Did Dr. Edson wake up one day and have all this? It's a lot of hard work. Taking one step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time. But he needed to know who he was first. He needed to know that he wasn't defined by what his upbringing was. He wasn't defined or valued by where he lived or what he had. But he had a dream, but he knew his heart. See, I didn't know who I was. I wanted to be someone I wasn't. And when you want to be someone you aren't, that's when you go away from the goal. I wish that I was like her. I wish I had this. No. See what I do have, see who I am today, and take a step forward. Oh, Nick, you're weird. Oh, Nick, you have no arms, no legs. You can't do anything. Nick, you have no friends. Everybody teases you. Nick, you're never going to have a wife. Even if you got married, you can't even hold your wife's hand. All these little voices. Think of the biggest discouragers in your life. If I gave you 3 options, who are the biggest 3 discouragers in your life? You're wrong. The biggest discourager in your life is you. Someone can discourage you only in 3 seconds, but when you go home and you can't go to sleep, you hear that lie, you hear that voice in your head, you're not good, you're nobody, just give up. I had that. Can I ask a very important question? Do you know I've spoken to 600 schools? I've met 7 presidents. I've spoken at 5 congresses. About 1 billion people know who I am. I have 28,500 invitations for me to speak. And I want to ask you a question. Do you believe that I know what I should do with the time given me here today? If I can ask for your trust, I want to do something that maybe no one's ever done. I would like you to, right now, close your eyes and bow your heads a little bit. And I want you to put one arm up in the air. With every head bowed and every eye closed, I want you to put one hand up in the air and make sure your hand is very high up and open. I'm going to ask you 2 questions, and if your answer is yes, I'm going to ask you to put your hands in a fist. Every head bowed, every eye closed. Here is the first question. Put your hand in a fist if you have thought of giving up. Open your hand. I'm going to ask you again. I don't think everybody close your eyes. Put your hand in a fist if you've thought of giving up in your life. Go. That's better. Open up your hand. Now the second question, it's the last question. Put your hand in a fist if you've tried to give up. Open your hand. One more time, if you've tried to give up, put your hand in a fist. Open your hand. Okay. Look at me, you can open up your eyes, put your hands down. At least half of you have thought of giving up. And on average, 1 on every table in this room has tried to give up. If you have ever thought to give up, I want you to know that I know how that feels. If you have ever tried to give up, I know how that feels. I tried to commit suicide at age 10. But I want you to know that I'm still here and you're here for a reason. Don't give up. I don't know what your broken pieces look like, but you don't know what beautiful things can come out of your broken pieces until you give your broken pieces a chance. Give yourself a chance. The world said that I wasn't good enough, but my parents did. Maybe the world's saying you're not good enough. Maybe you're telling yourself you're not good enough. It's a lie. You have purpose. You have value. And just because you don't know what it is yet, it doesn't mean you have none. If I can get through my life, if I can dream big, if I can ignore the lies and be free in the truth, then so can you. Dream big. Did you get it? Don't believe the lies. Nick, just give up. Nick, just give up. Nick, just give up. Nick, just give up. I tried to drown myself in 15 centimeters of water in my bathtub. I turned over twice, working out how much air I hold in my lungs before I let it out, and then let the water come in. The third time I rolled over, I was saved by one thought. And in my mind, I saw my mom and my dad crying at my grave, wishing they could have done something more. And I realized, thank God for my parents who loved me, because they told me that I was beautiful, and they loved me enough. I don't know what parents you have, but I love my parents even more than my own life, and I decided to stay. I want you to know something. It's a decision to be thankful. It's hard to be thankful, but you have a choice, and I have a choice every day. Sometimes it's hard to be thankful. What is your goal? Maybe you don't even have a goal, you're just trying to survive. Maybe you've been walking alone, and then you fall down. So what do you do when you fall down? You get back up. Oh, it's too hard! I can't do this! What if I try 100 times and I fail 100 times? You're a failure! Look at you! You're not good enough! You're a failure! Thomas Edison, he made the light bulb. He tried thousands of times to make a light bulb. He said, I didn't fail thousands of times. Now I know thousands of ways how not to make a light bulb. You're successful once, but to sometimes be successful, you need to fail thousands and thousands of times. Do you think that every plan and every attempt that Dr. Edson had here with Amil, do you think that it happened the first time? Or do you think he learned along the way and adopted an attitude of gratitude, being thankful for even the failures and the education that he got from trying to do something that didn't necessarily work as best as he thought? If I try 100 times to get up, and I fail 100 times, if I never try again, I will never get up. If I give up, I will not get up. So my question to you, are you going to give up, or are you going to get up? You might say, well, I'll try. That is the correct answer. Point number 2. You do not know what you can achieve until you try. Point number 3. When you fail, not if you fail, when you fail, try again. Point number 4. Failure equals education. So I'm still down. Do you know that in real life, I had to learn this? Did I always get up? No. Did I sometimes nearly get up? Yeah. What did I do? I kept on trying. You can do it. In school, I had a friend, and my friend, I was 17, said, Nick, you should be a speaker. And I'm like, nah, I don't have anything to share. He said, no, Nick, we have a small group in this high school. It's a prayer group, and I think you have something to share. For 3 months, I said, no. And then he twisted my arm, and I said, yes. Then I went there, 10 people. I was so nervous. My palms were sweaty, my knees were shaking, and I didn't know how they would react. Within 10 minutes, I was finished. And they cried. And I thought, thanks for making me feel good, pretending that it was good. I left. I got a couple small invitations. And then halfway through my double degree in accounting and financial planning, I'm a mathematical thinker. I like real estate. I like stock market. I like the numbers. But in my mind, I never thought that speaking would be an amazing career until I was 19. I got up in front of 300 teenagers and I had 7 minutes to talk. I don't know what to say. It was a big crowd for me, the biggest crowd at the time. And within 3 minutes, half the girls were crying. And one girl in the middle of the room started weeping really loudly. And everybody noticed her cry above the rest. She put up her hand and she said, I'm so sorry. Can I come up there and give you a hug? And in front of everyone, she came and she hugged me and she cried on my shoulder and she said, thank you, thank you, thank you. No one's ever told me that they love me. No one's ever told me that I'm beautiful the way that I am. And it changed my life. I went home to Mom and Dad, I know what I want to be for the rest of my life. And my dad's like, good, finish school first. And I'm like, okay. I finished the degree. I graduated at 21 years old. But from that day on, I knew that I was to be a speaker. At 19 years old, I saved up $20,000 to go to South Africa and give to the orphans. I spoke 36 times in 9 days and raised another $20,000. We bought washers and dryers and diaper and medical equipment for all these orphans and street kids. I loved being able to change someone's life. It was amazing. And I want you to know that maybe you're thinking of just surviving, you're waiting for a miracle. Well, I want you to know something today, that when you don't get a miracle, you can be a miracle for someone else. I met a little boy 5 years ago with no arms and no legs. He was so cute. In California, no limbs